Hey everyone, and welcome to the Zen Planner webinar on using your website to get prospects. My name is Austin Bondison, and I'm the Customer Engagement Manager here at Zen Planner.
And I'm Carrie Jesse, the website team lead.
So today, Carrie and I are going to be discussing how your website can bring in more prospects by providing information, allowing people to submit their information to you, and increasing traffic and therefore exposure. As you may know, Zen Planner offers websites. That's what we're looking at right here as a part of a package that we fully create and manage. And Carrie works with the customers that use our websites to make sure that their websites are optimized in a number of different ways. So let's go ahead and actually, before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that you can ask questions during the webinar. I'll be responding to them through the chat functionality of GoToWebinar. And then if there's questions that everyone kind of needs to hear, we'll talk about those at the end and kind of round those out. But let's go ahead and take a look at one of our Zen Planner websites and talk about what's important as far as getting people in the door, whether it's a Zen Planner site or your current website that you're using for your business. So, Carrie, what information would you say is most important to show on a website, and where should that information be located?
So the way that we look at our websites, we basically want to pretend like if someone brand new to your business that knows nothing about you lands on your website, what kinds of things would they be looking for? So we keep our designs clean and professional so it's easy for people to find information like your phone number, your email address, how people can contact you. So they want to see that. And so for us, we include that at the top of our websites so that people can always easily contact you. We also want to make sure that people get some good information about who you are, what you're all about, but we also don't want to bombard them with a lot of information, especially when they just land on your homepage. So we like to include just a short little blurb about who you are, maybe where you're located, and then direct them into other places of your website where they can learn more information about you. We give them a little snapshot about programs that you offer. And as you scroll down, we also make it easy again for people to contact you in the footer of the site. So again, phone number, email, things like that. When you first land on a website and you are looking for that contact information, sometimes you'll hear the term above the fold. So it's easy to see how people can either give you a call, send you an email, or just make it easy for people to contact you. Another piece of your website, so if someone maybe wants to have them submit information to you and have you follow up with them, we can include places where there's a quick capture of people's information.
Cool. So yeah, that's what I was going to kind of get to. There's a number of ways for people to reach you on the site, as you just mentioned. You've got the phone number up there, you've got your email address, like all at the top there. But can you talk a little bit about where this contact form should be in, and what information you want to be getting out of people when they do fill out that form and all that information?
Yeah, so having the contact information readily available on the site is part one. The second part of this is creating a call to action that encourages people to contact you. So one of the ways that we use those calls to action, so you'll notice this button right here says start now. It's a quick piece of text that is very direct. And so if I wanted to get started with, signing up or maybe trying to see if I could do like a free class and I want to get started, I click on that button and then there's more information. Having those calls to action throughout your website is very helpful. And again, you want to just keep those calls to action short, sweet, to the point, like learn more. So we have some information about who you are, and if I wanted to even learn more, like this button would take me now to an About Us page where I'm getting even more information about who you are, some of the coaches or instructors that are on staff, and then I can move from there. Breaking up this page, we have more calls to action. So if I like what I'm seeing so far and I want to reach out and request information, again, we're giving people that opportunity. So those calls to action should be short, to the point, and give people the opportunity to fill things out like this lead capture widget.
Perfect. Yeah, let's talk about actually that lead capture widget, because it's located in a number of spaces on your website here. And whether you're using a Zen Planner website or your own website, you do have the ability to put this lead capture widget in a number of different places, depending on this is where they're just interested in contacting you. It says that you'll fill out the form and they'll be in touch with you. Otherwise, if you have spots where you want people to find out more information or download a guide or something like that, you have the ability to use this lead capture form within Zen Planner on your website to get that information and have that information placed into Zen Planner. So we're in my test database here, and I'm just going to show you how that looks on the back end as far as the lead capture widget. So we're going to go into setup here, and then we're going to scroll down to my widgets. And we've got 2 here, and like I said, you can create as many as you need and embed them in different places so that you know exactly where this person filled out the form and what information they want out of it. So if we click into my website widget here, I have the ability to see what it's going to look like on the website once it's embedded, as well as to change the orientation, the color, the font, everything over here. So you can definitely customize it to how you want it to look on your website and how you want it to fit in there, as well as the confirmation message and an extra field. So when you start your website widget, you're going to have just these 3 fields: first name, last name, and email. And then you have the ability to add one more. And generally, people want that to be the phone number. And you can make it required by checking this box over here. So that's going to add that and make sure that they fill that out so you can reach them by phone. It's also going to put them into different tags over here on the right, again, depending on where you want this to fill out. So if you have, say, a place on your website that says want to find out more about CrossFit, they can fill this out and they'll be placed into the CrossFit program. Whereas if they're interested in boot camp or personal training, you can create more widgets and place them in different sections of your website. And again, this is all embedded into Zen Planner websites, but even if you're using your own website, building it yourself, or having someone do it for you, you have the ability to embed these into your website. Now, once we save changes here, we're going to have the option to display the widget code. And this is what you're going to be actually placing into your website in order to have that show up and have that information as soon as they enter it, transfer over into your Zen Planner database so you can follow up with that person. So all of that goes into what appears on your website, whether it's the contact us form or a call to action that you have, such as our Start Now button here. Cool.
And one of the things I also want to mention about this lead capture widget, so we designed it with these 4 fields, or 3 if you decide not to add this one, purposefully. So one of the common questions that we get is it possible to add like a notes or a comment section to this lead capture widget? And the answer to that question would be no, mainly just because the purpose of this lead capture widget is to capture leads. So again, thinking about the person that is landing on your website and is kind of looking around to see who you are and what you're all about, and then wants to contact you to find out more information, they're more likely to fill out a form that is quick and simple, where it's just, yep, my name, my email, my phone number. And then once you get in contact with them, you can find out more about what they're looking for, their goals, if it's a particular program that they're interested in. But mainly what you're looking to do is get that lead so that you can start speaking with them more personally and then kind of close the deal on if they're going to become a member of your gym or not.
Perfect. And so one question we had as far as the lead capture widget is that will it work on other platforms? And the answer, if you can speak to that.
Yeah, so like Austin showed, when you go through and you make all the changes and settings for your lead capture widget and you're ready to display it on your website, when you click on this button that says display widget code, it's going to populate this, gibberish of JavaScript that if you are using Squarespace, if you're using Wix, if you're using WordPress, this is code that you can embed into all of those website platforms. You just want to make sure that as you're pasting it in, that you're using either like the text editor or something that says like insert code here, because if you use the visual editor like in WordPress or someplace where the website platform isn't going to read code, it's just going to show this exact same thing. But Squarespace does load our widgets as well.
Perfect. Yeah, and so I think it's important to remember, and first of all, I'll be sending out some help documentation on how exactly to place that into your website, whether you're building it yourself or you have someone doing that who isn't sure exactly. I'll be sending that in my follow-up email, just a quick article on how to embed that into your website wherever you need it. But it's important to remember, we're going to kind of discuss here in a minute how to get people to your website. And now we've been talking about what they should see when they get to your website. And what Carrie mentioned at first was all of your contact information, all of that. And then the lead capture widget is what's actually going to make them into trackable people. People who visit your website and don't take any sort of action, that's great. You're raising awareness about your website. But using the lead capture widget is what's going to get those people into your Zen Planner database and have them followed up with. Like we see here, you can set them as a brand new prospect, and then they can go through your prospect capture form and go through all of the steps in the prospect funnel to make sure that you're following up with them. You get them in for a free trial or a membership, and ultimately they become, members who you're making a profit off of. So it's important to not only raise awareness of your website and make sure that people are able to find it, but also have places where they can enter their information without having to call or email you, which is what the lead capture widget is perfect for. So, Carrie, as far as the visibility, it's important to make sure that your website is prominent, whether your members or prospects are searching for, yoga in this city or CrossFit in, Denver or what have you. And that all has to do with SEO or search engine optimization. So what are some of the ways that you can increase your optimization and make sure that your website is visible when people are searching for some of your keywords?
Yeah. So one of the things to think about when you're talking about how am I going to get traffic to my website? I mean, people talk about SEO and I need to improve my SEO and how do I get my website ranked #1, all of those things. SEO is a very large thing that is broken up into basically 3 big parts. And what we found for small businesses like CrossFit boxes and martial arts schools and personal trainers, smaller businesses that are providing a service in a very localized area, where you're going to get the most bang for your buck or like the best return on your investment is to put your search engine marketing efforts into local searches and pay-per-click campaigns. So local search, like if we were to go to Google and for Island Ranch CrossFit, the results show us a few different things. So local searches are going to be what you see here on the right-hand side. So Google recognizes my location and is starting to give me results that are applicable to where I'm located. As we start looking at these organic search listings over on the left-hand side, we can see where those key search terms are coming up. So what we say when we're talking about local search is, one piece of it is directory listings. So Facebook is a directory, Yelp is a directory. So making sure that you have your local business information, your address, your phone number, all those things in those types of listings so that Google can crawl all that information and say, yes, this business is in this location. So when someone is looking for CrossFit in this location, I'm going to serve up these specific results. For these key terms, there are things that you can do so that you can bump yourself higher up on the list on the back end of your website. One of the things that Google also likes is fresh content. So if you have a blog feature on your website and you're not using it yet, this is something that I would definitely encourage you to start doing more of. In those blogs, you can include, member spotlights or events that are coming up. So the content doesn't have to be like you're writing this novel that is going to appeal to so many different people. It's just to share more information about who you are, what you're all about, and to show people that don't really know much about your business that you're active, you're taking on new members. Your latest blog post is from, within the past month and not from 2015. So you want to make sure that you are updating your blog regularly. If you have a blog on your website and it's been a while since you've updated it, like I said, I encourage you to update it, but I also think about perhaps taking it down for a little while until you're able to get back into blogging, just so that it doesn't look like someone who doesn't know your business very well, that you're kind of like stagnant or not really in operation.
Yeah, and one cool thing about blogging, if you have it in your budget, is the ability to kind of get that content from outside sources. So companies like Blogmutt and Constant Content, again, they're paid services where you kind of create or you list topics that you'd like to have written about, and the writers for those companies will write the blog for you and you post it to your website. And you're not necessarily putting their name on it by any means. It's basically like a way of posting fresh content so that when people are searching for you in Google, they're seeing, like Carrie mentioned, that fresh content that's coming out and is also relevant to your business or what market you're trying to appeal to. So we had one more question, and Carrie's going to cover that.
So one of the pieces of getting those local search results is this local SEO or directory listing act. The other piece of this that is considered SEO that is still great for small business is going to be paid advertising. So PPC or pay per click ad campaigns that you can do either through Facebook or Google AdWords. And so one of the services that we offer with our websites is that Facebook ad campaign option, where we build out on Facebook ads that are for, like if you're offering a free trial, we build an ad specific for that trial where we build out the content for it, the images, and then the landing page that people will specifically land on for that offer that you're providing. So paid advertising like Facebook ad campaigns, again, is great for small businesses because within Facebook, it allows you to target geographically where you're located. So if you're in a zip code like 80129 and you want to target people that are 20 miles in a radius around your facility, you can tell Facebook, I only want this ad to be seen by those people. You can also drill down to gender, age, interest. So there's a lot of customization that Facebook allows you to do on the back end of their advertising platform. So you can get very specific about who is seeing your ads. And again, this just gives you a greater return on your investment. While you're running a small business and you're thinking about marketing, you want to do the best that you can with those dollars that you have available. So we help you figure out, who should I be targeting? What should my ads say? What kind of photo should I use? What does that landing page say? What kinds of marketing should I include through that whole process? So that's something that we can help you with, taking that off of your plate, because there is a lot to it. And we do a lot of testing to see, like, okay, it's better if this ad has this content versus that content, or this photo works much better than that photo. So there's a lot, like I said, that does go into it. But once you get into the swing of what those ads look like and what does the best for your business, you really can get a really good return on your investment, and you get a lot from the money that you're spending on those marketing efforts.
Yeah, and everything that we're talking about can be done, outside of, whether you're using WordPress or Wix or what have you. But if it all sounds overwhelming and there's a lot going on, which there is with SEO and SEM and getting prospects through your website, just keep in mind that ZinPlanner does offer the services that can not only create a website for you, but get people to it. And it is a higher cost, but when you're thinking about how much money you're making off of the people that you're bringing in who are ultimately signing up for memberships, it's a really great deal, and it definitely helps to bring in new business and get your name out there. I had a request really quickly just to repeat the name of the paid blog site. There's quite a few. You might want to just Google it. But there is BlogMut and Constant Content are two off the top of my head that I can think of, and you can compare prices of those and all of that. But they're great for just, like I said, putting out a topic and getting back a great article that you can then post onto your blog, and do that, once a week, 2 times a month, what have you, and just keep your content fresh, and also bring in new minds to read it and then become aware of your business. So
another thing to keep in mind with blogging, and kind of, I know that's one of the things that sometimes will fall off people's radar, or it's the last thing you want to do when you have 50 other things that you need to do for your business. But when it comes to blogging, there's no magic formula that says like you have to be blogging every day. But what you do want to do for yourself is set up something that's consistent. So if consistent for you means that you're going to blog once a month, that's great. And people will start to see, oh, it looks like they're posting about once every month. I can expect to see another post within the next month. Or it might be weekly or every 2 weeks. Just, if anything, just avoid a stagnant blog that doesn't look like you're updating it at all.
For sure. Definitely. And I'm going to be sending out in my follow-up email the recording of the webinar. So if you missed any part of it, I saw we had some people join a little late. You can definitely rewatch that. I'll also be sending, like I mentioned, the lead capture widget information and how to get that on your website, as well as some information on, like I said, the paid blog websites. And I'll be also sending out information on our Zen Planner websites so that you can check those out if you'd like. So that's really all we had for today. Thank you for joining us, and we will see you next time.